Hello again. Welcome back to another episode of our Disney theme park Infinity series. I am Will, and as always, joining me, Steve C. And last time we discussed Main Street, the entrance, the train station, and we're just gonna kind of continue that theme this week and talk through the rest of Main Street before we get into the individual sections. So, Steve, last time we ended on Walt's apartment. Now let's walk a little bit further down Main Street. As we discussed earlier, there's lots of shops and restaurants, and I don't know. It would be cool to have some of those iconic themes, even if it was just a single like rest of Main Street set piece that you just set down and it had a row of buildings. Um,
Yep. Which does make sense because, like what you said, the last half of Main Street pretty much is a series of gift shops,
mhm.
and then you've got the restaurant at the very back left, at the very end. But other than that, it's that's pretty much what it is. There's a different a series of shops. And on the back side, one of our most visited places, which is the first aid stand, because when you need to go there and get Band-Aids, they give you Band-Aids.
Do
And they
they
will give you a stack of Band-Aids if you want them. So,
So you run out of
just
band-aids in your house, and then you're like, no, no, no. Let's hold off. We don't need to buy more. We're going to Disneyland next month. We'll just get a grip of band-aids then.
okay, I'm not gonna lie and make it sound like I'm trying to scam Disney, but a couple of times we have been like, okay, we need to stop by CVS because these flip flops are gonna give me Band-Aids, and we're like, no, 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 no. We'll just get a stack from Disney. We'll just get them there.
That's
Hey, but you
awesome.
know what? For $700 a year as an annual pass, I think that I'm entitled to a stack of
I
Band-Aids.
I completely agree. That's the least they can do for you.
Yeah, give me my Band-Aids. But yeah, that's it. And then you've got the a couple of little fruit stands, the
Mm.
ones that sell mangoes and water and stuff like that over
A
in the
hot
middle. But
hot dog
other than that,
stand.
it pretty much ends at the spoke. And if you got a piece where you just put down that second half, I would be completely content with that. And I mean,
Hmm.
you could even divide it up if you want to do in two different pieces, one on the right side, one on the left side. I would prefer that it's just one piece with the road built right into it.
Right. I agree. That
But
has like both sets of it,
Yep,
and
absolutely.
it
Two
doesn't have to be to scale as long as some of those like iconic uh, sections are there
Yeah,
and
I want the little rope holders, that go on the sidewalks that are the little bronze horse heads. I want that and the churro stand. So what's it
churro
called?
stand
Yeah.
requirement.
Oh yeah. I think that the one thing that we're lacking in these games a lot is the presence of churros in Disney Infinity 2.0.
Churros and
But
Dole Whips.
yeah, oh, please, we'll get to Dole Whips, my
Yeah,
friend.
that's a show in and of itself. Forgive
That
me.
is its own show, and we will get to there later. I
Oh
have
my
done
god.
two of my other podcasts about snacks, and it ends up being all about Dole Whips.
Well, and we are gonna have kind of like a in this series. We're gonna have kind of an everything else episode. So
Like,
yeah, we be on the lookout for that. So once you get past Main Street, Steve, what is the next kind of like iconic piece you come across?
if you're walking down, and in my opinion, the very first iconic thing that you see out there is the Walt statue. You've got Walt in the center of the spoke, which was his design from the beginning, which is where you go to you walk through a Main Street USA, which is something like people have known about and felt and read
Hmm.
about and seen for themselves. And then you get to this spoke where it is literally up to you that you can choose what world you want to go to. And there are different times of year they have different things over there. My favorite is Halloween because they have those really beautifully carved pumpkins,
Pumpkins, yeah.
and I always find the Roger Rabbit one and all that other stuff. But they just they do that around the middle. But you've got the spoke, man. That's pretty much the center of the park anyway,
Yeah.
right? I mean, that
Yeah.
was the design,
Yeah, and
dead
then
center.
dead center, and then having that partner statue is just
Yep.
it's almost as iconic to me as the castles themselves. I
Oh,
mean,
I would completely agree. Mostly just because of the gigantic difference between the castles in both parks.
yep.
Everyone says, "Oh, your park is so small," and I'm like, "Yeah, but ours was the first and real park, man.
Yeah.
This is the real one. Walk through this one." But that statue is the same in both places, and
Yeah.
that statue is huge. That is on T-shirts. It's on postcards. It is, I think, one of the top five most iconic Disney sets of imagery ever. Is that
Mhm.
statue?
Totally. And I mean, yeah, like you said, it's universal for both world and land, and it also allows for the opportunity. Doesn't California Adventure have an Oswald one or a Minnie Mouse one, or I can't remember?
It's a Mickey one, except they're in a different pose. He's pointing to something,
Oh, that's right.
and it's a different pose, but it is still Mickey,
Yeah. So yeah,
and
I
it's
mean,
right by Carson.
yeah, yep. I got a picture of it. That's what I was thinking about. But anyway,
That's one of my favorite spots over there is because there's always a photographer out there,
mm,
but people don't really care to take their picture right there. They're so busy running
yeah,
around. It's at Cards Land. It's always like, hey, you want to go get a picture? Sure, the statue's open. Let's
yeah,
go.
and it's kind
So
of like off to the side, right?
it's
That's the
off to
one.
the side,
Doesn't Walt have his jacket over his? And that was
over
when
his
he
shoulder, and it's the
arrived.
cool vintagey jacket, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
So we'll get to that when we talk about
Yep.
California, because freaking A, man, California Adventures, didn't that turn into a park?
Oh my,
Um,
you're. I don't want to go on because
yeah,
it's its own show.
totally. So okay, so the hub and spoke, and so that should be, if you look at a top-down view, it's this circle with four spokes going out, and kind of the pie pieces are flowers and topiaries type things. Not topiary.
Topiary. That's the word I was looking for
Yeah.
earlier. Topiary.
And these lampposts. And so that again should be its own. I don't know. Should that be its own? No, maybe the statue should be individual so you can have more flexibility when you're placing those in your infinity park.
Yeah, they have a thing so far with statues is there's a lot of statues, and they like that
Mm,
you can put them wherever you want. So I think that you're right there. Keep the statue as a separate piece,
yeah.
almost like you can put the spoke down, but then it's going to take you putting in the last touch to make sure that you're putting that thing in. So
It'd be kind of cool if that was like a special thing. So yeah, maybe the partner statue and the spoke can be two individual unlocks that are special unlocks. But then like say you set down the spoke system and it's kind of like a keyhole, and then it's the shape of the base of the partner statue. You put that into the base and then it does something. I don't know what it does. It like lights up that area, or it unlocks something special that you can put down, but kind of like it could be kind of like the key to your Disney theme park.
that is such a cool idea. I can't even tell you. What could it do? I mean, you do have what's obviously right past the spoke system is the castle.
Hmm.
It could trigger a fireworks sort of show because that is a huge thing. It could trigger, like you said, just a nighttime lighting
Yeah.
sort of system because it does look fantastic at night. It could trigger a song or something like that. But that's a really great idea. I like that.
Yeah, so if you have ideas of what that could trigger, let us know. But that's cool. I like all your ideas, Steve. I mean, and they do have quite a few shows around the castle too, so it could
Oh,
even like
please, yeah.
unlock some certain songs that you could then use on the boombox.
Yep. Yeah, the changer.
Yeah.
That's right there. And then, without getting right over to the castle, one of the other things that I think is really iconic as well is Plaza Inn. Plaza Inn is the restaurant to the side. It's unique because it's got that sort of old-timey sign, with the lighted sort of marquee. And,
Hmm.
that's a character meet and greet restaurant, character dining. But I would really like a Plaza Inn.
Yeah.
Pretty much any place that you can eat in the park, I would really like a piece for that. I would like a walk through Blue Bayou on a different
Mm.
part. I want all of these things, but having the spoke there and then looking around and looking down Main Street, but looking down and seeing the Plaza Inn to your left,
Yeah.
to me that sounds really awesome. I love that idea.
Well, and if you look at a top-down view, it's a pretty big footprint around that section, and it's a cool-looking building, like you said. So yeah, it would be a great set piece.
It's got that cool old timey logo on the
Hmm.
outside. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So then what else do we have? We have there is it's right where a photo pass is. There's the I forget what they're called, but the compass stars.
Oh yeah, the yeah, I know what you're
Some
talking
compass rose. Is
about.
that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're talking about the north, south, east, west thing, right? That's the
Yep.
compass road, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it just shows you. It's just cool, but that could be or not be there. But that does lead you. What does that lead you to? Probably after you get into the park, the most eye-catching thing you're going to see, right? If
Absolutely.
the castle, was it?
Yep.
And I am the worst at this. It's Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Sleeping Beauty's castle.
Yeah. So, and so, what do you think? So we have Cinderella's castle in the game right now, right? And we were discussing off air how people sometimes give you give Disneyland flack. Oh, your castle isn't that big, but it's original, right? And
Right.
I think it has to be the same size, right? I mean, in proportion to the other one.
100%. I think that that's going to be the thing that decides the difference because you look at the two. The one in World is fantastic. It's so huge and it's up on an elevated sort of plateau. You can see it from far away. It's fantastic. But the one in Disneyland is small. It's more intimate. It's real. It's the
Hmm.
one where Walt went through and walked through it every single day when they were building it. He was trying to get this thing down, and I think it's fantastic. And if you do the pieces, I want it smaller. I
Right.
think that that's the cool thing. You should be able to have the option. You could do the world one, and you could get that later. I mean, there are tiny differences between both main streets, that are aesthetic little things differently. There's a walkway to the right on the in world that you go around, and it doesn't exist in land. But there are different things, and I think that you're right. You got to keep it to the. We're talking Disneyland here. I want it to look
Yep.
just like that one.
Totally.
Just saying, I like it smaller. Keep it
Okay.
original. Keep it to like the one that Walt built.
Perfect. I agree. I like that. Yeah, but you still got to be able to walk through it though, right? Because it will
Oh,
take you to
100%.
Fantasyland.
Oh yeah. If you can't walk through that to get to Fantasyland, then it's a failure of a piece.
Absolutely. All
Yeah.
right. Well, Steve, I think that's going to wrap up Main Street. Anything else that you can think of off of right off of Main Street there? I mean, we have the Royal Theater to the left. We have I don't know the entrance, but we'll talk about the entrance to parts of these areas and in a like separately.
You
So.
know, I had one thought on this, and up until now, you use your annual passes or your magic bands to unlock, different things, Dragon Gate
Mhm.
and whatever the one. Oh, now we get okay. So this
Now we
actually
get
sort of is more relevant. You get it's a small world now.
Yep.
With it, I think that if this was going to be a piece and they were going to do a playset, or I mean, in my idea, it would be great to have a whole game based off of this sort of thing, and you could build it, like that. If so, I think that the Magic Band should from now on unlock park relevant items. They can be interactive. I love Dragon Gate because it's so cool looking to see the dragon flying around, but it
Mm.
has nothing to do with the Magic Band or being a pass holder.
Right.
I like the idea of putting your thing down in the different versions and you get a special unlock that's a park unlock. I don't think it should be something as exclusive as the statue because everyone's going to want that and not
Yeah.
everybody can get that. But it should be something that's important to people that know the parks. And even if it's something as like you don't get the Plaza Inn,
Mm.
and you put that magic down, and now you get the Plaza Inn. For people that know the parks, that's amazing because it's like, my Main Street is
Yeah.
finally complete. I have it. It looks just like the real Main Street. I think that from now on, Magic Band stuff should be park exclusive, being that it's literally used for admission to the parks.
Right. Well, and I
So,
think that's a great thought because it's this balancing act, right? You have to balance content and limiting that content for people. But anyone who has a Magic Band is going to be a diehard theme parker, right?
yeah,
Maybe not diehard, but obviously they enough to have gone to a park in relatively recent time.
you have
And
to be knowledgeable. Absolutely.
right. So having a Magic Band that unlocks, like you said, not the partner statue. Everyone's going to want that, but unless you go to the park often or have in the past, you're not going to know what the Plaza Inn is. And tell Sarah I said hello.
She says hi. Sorry.
No worries. I was expecting you here, Sarah. We're going to have to get you on a park show soon. Hi. Yeah, so that's a great idea that the magic bands and other. I think that towards the end of this series, we're going to have to discuss other ways of unlocking this, but that are tied into the parks because I think there's a great opportunity like the Keepers of the Kingdom cards and also just like pin trading. Great opportunity to bring some of that stuff to Infinity and make it a more kind of holistic experience. But I love your thought that Magic Band stuff should just be park specific stuff.
It makes sense.
So awesome, buddy. Well, that's going to wrap up episode 3 of this series. Next time, we're actually going to start to get into some of the areas of the parks themselves. Episode 4 and 5, if not more, are going to concentrate on New Orleans Square. So we're really looking forward to actually getting to the thematic areas of the park now. So stay tuned. Again, subscribe. Let us know what you think of this show and give us your comments so we can talk about it on the community episode. Bye, everyone.